VJ Edgecombe, he's the number 5 player in the country for the class of 2024. According to like 247 and ESPN, he made his decision recently. It was between Baylor, Duke, and Kentucky, but later on Kentucky was taken out of the equation. And he is committed to Baylor University. Well, I know based on the crystal ball on 247, he was going to head to Baylor, but you know those things can be inaccurate at times. And I admit, once Baylor lost out on Trey Johnson, they had to go get this guy, VJ Edgecombe, and all this because if they didn't, they had to go transfer portal. And what does this mean for the Baylor side of things? And first of all, I want to go over VJ Edgecombe, what his position is. He is a guard slash small forward, like 6'4", 6'5", 180 to 185 pounds, or even like 6'6 to 160. 180. So you get the whole point. And he's one of the best players in the country. And according to 247 as well, he's like number six nationally, not on the composite, but number 2 shooting guard, number 1 in New York. So this is a massive gift for Baylor here, and brings them up to 4 commits for the class of 2024, which goes as follows. Like a JUCO guy, like Noah Boyed from McCook Community College. He's a JUCO, 7 foot, 230 pounds. Jason Asamoah, a fellow 5-star at small forward at 6'8", 190 pounds. Then there's Rob Wright, he's a point guard or a guard, 6 foot, 165 pounds. But you get the point. It boosts up the class. It really does. Or 6'1", 170, or for Rob Wright, and Jason Asamoah 6'7", 185. But either way, that doesn't really matter. And all this, it boosts up the class as a whole. And we all know that Jacoby Walter is likely going to the NBA after this year, which is expected going into this season. And we know Ray J. Dennis, he's already out the door. And we already know D'Antonio Grimes entered the transfer portal. And I think I know why. The playing time was the issue going forward because of Rob Bryant and Miro Little and then VJ Edgecombe. So, and we still don't have a certainty on if Caleb Lohner or Jalen Bridges will come back, or one, or both will come back, or both will decide to move on. I don't know, but Baylor is a good spot. Obviously, East Missy could very well be gone after this year. I don't know about lottery pick. First round, yeah. But, it's one of those problems. Good problems to have, honestly. And I know Baylor does have Josh Uzuwuna that's probably going to come back, and he'll be helpful. And he could be your starter if need be. And then you got your JUCO guy as a backup. But you're still a little thin at the position. And maybe they get another forward or center through the transfer portal, but it all depends on scholarships. And I know they got Giannis Jonga at forward, that he was going to redshirt this year anyway. But he's a guy that's coming off of a torn ACL. You don't want to put so much pressure on him. And I know we got Omar Ajibola. But you know who I'm talking about if you know the roster. At guard, he's a walk-on type. Maybe he gets a scholarship down the line. We all know the scholarship limit is 13. 13 guys. So, yeah. That's going to be interesting about East Missy because, if he comes back, man, we're set. Not just at center position, but in terms of the roster as well. Because Jason Asamoah could start if Jalen Bridges doesn't come back. But we're going to have to wait and see on those decisions down the line here. It's way too far in advance, but I know there's going to be the question potentially of who's going to start at point guard next year. Rob Wright could, Jay Nunn could, even Miro Little. I know he's not playing a lot of minutes, but you get the whole point. We have guys that can play point. So it's not the problem. Maybe even Langston Love could be the point guard. And Langston Love has 2 more years of eligibility remaining, and Miro Little has 3. And Jay Nunn has 1 more. So the guard position, I would say we're fine going into the next following year, no matter what. It's a matter of the front court. You got to, besides Jason Asamoah and Giannis and Josh Ujiwuna and the JUCO guy, but maybe you want to get another guy or 2 there. But that's going to probably be addressed through the transfer portal, I would think. And it all depends on Yves Missi, too, in all this. Because, look, if he comes back next year, we're going to be dynamic duo at center. I mean, Josh Ujiwuna played really good last game because of Yves Missi got foul trouble, and Josh had to step up, and he did. I'm just telling the truth. And Yves Missi just really needs to get out of foul trouble and all this. And normally I don't go over recruiting on this and the particulars. So, you know, I know he could play. I know technically Yves Missi could go into the NBA draft this year, but I don't know. He could if he wants to. That's the thing. And nothing will surprise me on that decision, no matter what happens. But that's so far down the line, as well as those COVID seniors that could come back for 1 more year of eligibility, as we all know. That is still a thing out there, and I know there's still the Ivy League, too. And after this, like 2024, 2020, like fall 2024, and going into the end of the 2025 basketball season, we're done with COVID years for winter sports. And we all know the fall sports, this upcoming year in fall 2024, they're done with COVID years entirely. So that's going to be very interesting to see about Yves Missi and all this. Because this really could affect the roster some next year with this decision and Jalen Bridges' decision as well. We already know we're going to lose 3 guys no matter what. D'Antoine Grimes is already out the window, even though he's still at Baylor in street clothes. And Ray J. Dennis is a grad senior. Yeah. Can't think about that. And I know we do lose Austin Sachs as a senior, but he's a walk-on. I mean, that's the truth. And all this. So, and Ray J. Dennis is already done no matter what after this year anyway. So, really, it's for sure 3. It's gone. It's a matter of, is there going to be a 4th or a 5th or even a 6th guy? That's how many guys I think there could be. And it's not including players entering the transfer portal, as we all know. Because those things are unexpected at times. Unless it's somebody that's really, really obvious. Like a D'Antoine Grimes, for example. That was probably going to be the case anyway. Even if he would have stayed all year long. He probably knew what was coming behind him. And it's like, okay, playing time's not going to be here anymore. And we all know we're going to be, and Jason Asamoah is going to be really good for next year too. And obviously VJ Edgecombe is going to be a massive pickup. And he could very well be an NBA, maybe a one and done type again. But we'll have to wait and see on both those guys and what their projections are going to be. Because that is so far in the future and all this. And I know Duke has guys that hit that VJ's position in the past. And I knew that Kentucky was already out of it. by the time before the decision was even made. So, and before in all this, when you think VJ Edgecombe's going to commit, he would have probably gone to Duke if he was committing in January. That was not the case, and honestly, the Duke insiders knew something because they said Baylor for him. Besides the Baylor guys itself, and even Trilly Donovan. So that's another, and he's not like a 247 guy, but a recruiting guy. So yeah, and Duke has 5 guys anyway that are signed letter intent, including 4 at the small forward position, and it's not including a center as well. So they're going to be just plenty fine, and I don't know all the eligibility stuff for Duke. It's pretty hard to keep track of Baylor, my team, and my school, and my alum. It's harder to keep track of all the others that I don't know every single roster situation. But I will reevaluate. I do look at the roster situation for the Final Four teams, though. I do. Down the line. But that's so far in advance. And everything, not just for men's basketball, for women as well. So, and even on tennis side of things. But you get the whole point in all this. And I did that for women's volleyball as well. This past year. I don't remember about women's soccer, but you get the whole point. And I'm just rambling here, so I apologize. This is just a huge pickup for Baylor here. It should boost their recruiting rankings up. I don't know about being the top because Duke has a really good class and everything, but I mean, you got 3, 4, 5-star guys and then a JUCO. And once Baylor missed out on Trey Johnson in November to Texas, and probably most of that is for NIL. From what I heard, they were just giving out way too much money that Baylor couldn't even compete and all this. And they recruited him for a long time, and it was just a hard loss to take. But this VJ Edgecombe puts Baylor in a better spot, recruiting wise and for the future as well. And it's not that I miss Trey Johnson coming to Baylor now. It's not. I don't really miss it now. I don't. Because VJ Edgecombe is nearly the same in terms of the recruiting rankings where the both guys are at individually. They're very similar in terms of game anyway. So it's really a good problem to have for Baylor. It's just ultimately went the VJ route, and that's fine because that's nearly the same thing as Trey Johnson, and he's going to Texas, and we'll have to wait and see if Rodney Terry sticks around for another year. We'll have to wait and see if he does, because that could alter things, but I think Baylor's off the table. Anyway, for Trey Johnson. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe. And see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more, so make money off this. Of course, liking video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button. It's free to the notification bell as well. And I will reevaluate this Baylor roster once we know the definite comebacks and definitely nots. Once that gets cleared up for those certain individuals that we don't know about, like Ease Missy, Jalen Bridges, Caleb Lohner. I mean, those 3 guys are the uncertains right now going forward, but we'll have to wait and see.